are joining us from Victoria. So guys, I'd like you to meet Greta Small, who is one of our Winter Olympians. And Greta, do you want to give us a bit of an introduction about what sport you do and the event that you're training for in February, and then we will get straight into some questions from Greater Western.
Hi guys, my name is Greta Small. I'm 21 years old and I'm an Alpine ski racer. So I compete in 5 events at the Sochi 2014 Olympics and aiming for my second Olympics in PyeongChang 2018. My 5 events that I compete in is the downhill, Super G, Alpine combined, giant slalom and slalom events. So it's a lot of events to train for. And yeah.
Awesome. Alrighty, well, we might kick started and get straight into some questions from Greater Western Public School. So do you guys want to come up the front of the room or say your name in a big loud voice and ask Greta a question one at a time, and I'm sure she'll have some great answers for us. Alrighty.
Hi, I'm Emily.
Hi, Emily.
What's your favourite track?
Oh, my favourite track. Oh, my favourite slope to race on would have to be Snake Gully at Mount Hotham. I always love competing at my home mountain each season. And then overseas, it'd have to be Val d'Isère in France. Definitely 2 runs close to home that I grew up skiing on when I was probably about your age. So it's always great to go back and ski there.
Awesome question, Emily. Let's have another question.
You guys are waiting so patiently there.
Hi.
Hi, Annabelle. Hey, Annabelle.
How much times do you fall off?
Do I fall off? I try not to fall. Yeah, I mean, that's the nature of the sport. Sometimes when things don't go right, you crash and you fall. There's definitely my 2 big crashes would have to be my recent injury at the Olympic test event in PyeongChang, where I unfortunately got injured. I don't crash that too often because, you know, it's such a fine line when you're racing. But yeah, you definitely don't want to fall, but it happens.
That's sport. Good question, Annabelle. Do we have another question?
Hi,
Hey.
Kane. Do you have to be a certain height to be able to do it?
Hi, Kane. Oh, that's a good question. A lot of sports have a certain body type that you have to be, like a basketball has to be really tall, but for alpine skiing, it's such a skill set that it's not really a body set body type. There's people that are extremely tall or short. So it's a matter of your skill that you can bring to the sport rather than your actual body type. It's such a variable sport, and it's more about the skill that you learn over years and years of training rather than a particular body type.
Great question. All right, who's got our next question?
Hi, I'm Michaela.
Hi, Michaela.
Have you won any medals?
I haven't won any Olympic medals. That's definitely the goal and the dream. But I've won the Australian national title for 3 years in a row and the Australia-New Zealand Cup, which is the highest level of racing in the Southern Hemisphere, for 5 years in a row until my injury this year. But definitely on a world level, I'm looking at World Championships and Olympic Games and hope to one day win a medal or win gold there.
Question.
Hi, I'm Stephen.
Hey, Stephen.
Is it hard being an Olympian?
Being an Olympian takes a lot of hard work and dedication to your sport. It's not hard after you get there. I think it's a matter of being, pursuing excellence and following your goal and working hard towards that. So it's not working hard on any one given day or on the one race day. It's about working hard day in and day out for years to get to that level.
Good question, Stephen.
Hi, I'm Molly.
Hi, Molly.
What's your favourite event?
Oh, good question. My favorite event would have to be the Alpine Combined because it's such an unpredictable event because you do one run of downhill and then the second run slalom, and it's combined time that wins. And so there's no real specialist that you could predict who's going to win and do well because it's so, you have to be able to ski really fast in the downhill as well as in the short, quick turns in the slalom. So that would have to be my favorite event and my best ranked event.
Hi, I'm Amy.
Hi, Emmy.
How long are the tracks?
Oh, good question. So each track will vary based on the mountain and where the location. So the last Olympic Games downhill track was about 3 kilometers long for downhill. So that's the longest event. And we're doing that in, 1.1 minute and 45 seconds. So we're going 3 kilometers in less than 2 minutes. Whereas in the slalom, it's only about 500 meters long, but we're turning about 60, 65 turns in only 500 meters.
Whose turn is it to ask the next question? There we go.
I've got another question. What made you start this sport?
Well, I'd always skied since a young age. And it wasn't until sorry, it's a really bad connection. Okay. It wasn't until I was about 11 years old and I went in a race for my school, and then I loved racing and I loved the adrenaline rush. So every year I just keep going and I just love to race. I think I learned how to ski first and then got into racing after that. And yeah, haven't ever looked back, and 10 years later I'm still racing.
Good question. Okay, who has another question for us?
How many years have you been racing for?
So I've been racing since I was 11 years old, so 10 years now.
Question.
How hard is it, B? How hard is it?
In terms of how hard to ski or how hard to race and compete?
Racing.
Oh, well, we practice, every day to get to that level. So I think it's like anything. If you the first time you've ever done it, it's going to be hard, but then you practice and get better at it and get better at it slowly, and then it becomes easier. So it's something that I love to do. And I mean, there's different courses and tracks that you'll get on and be like, wow, this is a really difficult track. Like at PyeongChang, the slalom is one of the steepest runs on the tour, and in the World Cup, it's steeper than any of those. So that's a hard track, but it's not hard every day because you practice and you train for it.
That's a great question. Who else has got a question? These are some fantastic questions from Greater Western Public School.
How steep is the steepest track?
Well, as I said, the slalom in PyeongChang is definitely one of the steepest tracks on the tour. I'm not sure of the exact gradient, but I think it's about a 30 degree gradient, which if you, is very, very steep.
Good question. He's got another question for us. Oh, yeah.
My name's Finn.
Hey, Finn.
And do you have to have a special diet while you're training?
Good question. I just try and eat, for alpine skiing, there's no set real diet. I just try and eat healthy and choose, my right proteins and make sure I get heaps of fruit and veggies. So if I was looking for a snack, I might have a yogurt or a banana or maybe some strawberries or something instead of something, less healthy. But then, of course, I still enjoy the odd chocolate or two. So it's just more about eating a well-balanced diet and what you need to fuel your body for training so you can feel better and compete well.
Good question, Finn.
Do you have to wear any protection when you're racing?
Great question. Yeah, so we actually have a lot of protection gear on. So I'd never ski without a helmet or back protector. So for the speed event, so every event you have to wear a helmet. And then for the downhill Super G giant slalom, we have a special helmet that's really thick to protect from concussion and that. And then I also wear a back protector. And then in giant slalom, I have arm guards on my top part of my arm and on my forearm. And then for the slalom event, we have pole guards over our poles that crossblock when the gates go over. And then we also wear guards on our shins. So from our knee, that covers the top of our boots on our shins because we're actually shinning the gate in slalom. But then so each event has a different set of protection, except for my back protector and helmet I wear whenever I ski.
Great question.
Are you the best Australian Olympian?
So since I was 15 years old, I've been ranked #1 in Australia in all 5 alpine events. And I still, even with my injury in January this year, I'm ranked #1 in all 5 events. I was the youngest to compete in the Sochi 2014 for Australia in alpine skiing. So, yeah.
Great.
That's okay. Who's got a question for us? There we go.
Hello, my name is Sam.
Hey, Sam.
What equipment do you need?
Oh, good question. So the equipment that I use every day to go skiing would be, first of all, my skis. My ski boots are the most important equipment, that they're custom made to your feet. So the soles of the footbed and the liners and the boot are totally custom made for yourself. So you couldn't just switch with someone else, whereas skis are easier to replace if something goes missing. And then my ski poles. So each event I have a different set of poles and pole length. And then my helmet, my goggles, and then my back protector. And then I'd have a thermal layer, pants, ski socks, a tight thermal top. And then I'd race with, then my race suit goes over the top, is what we race in. And then for training, I'd probably wear a bit more thicker stuff that's warmer because it can be cold. And in our race suit, it's so thin, it's not very warm. So normally we strip off our big ski jacket and that just at the start before we race. But for training, I'd wear a couple more layers to stay warmer.
Great question, Sam.
Do you train with anybody?
Yeah, so I join numerous different national ski teams to train. For example, normally for the southern winter, I joined the New Zealand national team for training, the 2 boys and girl there. And then overseas, I'll join some American national teams. And then in Europe, we'll join various European race clubs. And that depending on which races we're going to and where the best training is offered at the time.
I'm Rylan.
Hi, Rylan.
And how many times do you need new equipment?
Oh, that's such a good question. So my ski boots, I would probably go, I don't have that many compared to, I guess, the number 1 ranked people in the world, but I have 2 sets of ski boots and I'd go through a new pair each season. So in the pre-season in October before the European winter, I would get a new pair of ski boots. And then skis, I have about 12 to 14 pairs, about 4 pairs for each event. And I would go through, they would normally last 1.5 seasons. So I'd get, 2 new pairs each 6 months. I'd get 2 new pairs for each event.
What is your ski suit made out of?
Oh, that's such a good question. My ski suit there's a certain amount of wind that the suit has to actually blow in a machine. So when we crash, our suit, it's the rules that our suit has to actually grab and friction. So you can't wear anything that's like a rubber. It has to be material on the outside. So when you do crash, it sort of helps you slow down. Otherwise, you just keep picking up speed when you crash, and that'd be really dangerous. But you want the suit to be thin and as fast as possible. So some of the suits are very expensive, and a lot of the teams put a lot of money into the suit design and how aerodynamic it can be.
Awesome question.
Have you ever broken a bone?
Oh, good question. No, I haven't. I've been touch wood. I haven't ever broken a bone. I've had 2 injuries, and they were all ligament injuries to my knee, where I had surgery for that in 2015, and in January this year, I had ACL, MCL, and meniscus damage in my knee, and I had that repaired. But luckily, I haven't had any bone damage.
Good question. You guys have asked so many questions. I'm surprised you've got any left. Do we have any more questions? Yep.
Do you have any other people that you know that race?
Yeah, heaps of my friends race and compete. And now that I'm getting older, a lot of my friends are still in the Alpine community, and they're coaching some of the younger kids now. But a lot of my best friends have been through skiing and overseas. So you won't get to see them very often because everyone's always traveling and going to different countries for races. But when you do see them, it's really good.
When's your next race?
So coming back from my injury, normally I'd race in the Southern Hemisphere in Australia, but I'm just recovering from my knee injury now, and I will start racing again in December for the Northern Hemisphere season in Europe.
Which school did you go to, and how much did you have to train when you went to school?
Good question. So I went to school in Albury on the border of New South Wales, Victoria, for primary school. And then I actually left, I guess, normal school in year 4. So that was my last year at normal school. And then from year 5 until I finished year 12, I was at a distance education school in Perth, Western Australia. So I did all my school online and would email my teachers my work and exams. And I did, all my high school through distance education. So I graduated, I finished high school in December 2013 and then went to my first Olympics in February 2014. So 3 months after finishing year 12, I went to the Olympics. So it's still a lot of training. I mean, I would fit in school whenever I can, and during the summer holidays, that's when the most of the racing would be in the European season. So I normally wouldn't start school until about March, April after I'd finished competing, and then I'd fit all my work in. I'd fit two terms worth of work into 1 term.
Awesome question.
How long do you think it will take for someone to get from doesn't know how to ski to your level?
Good question. I think our sport is such a skill-based development sport where it takes years and years of learning how to ski and then learning how to race. So a lot of people start really young, so everyone sort of learns how to ski, about 2 or 3 years old, because when you're young, you don't have any fear and you just learn how to ski, and the balance and proprioception is really good. Then at least 10 to 20 years of training to get to 10 years of training, and at least another 10 years of learning how to ski.
Good question.
Where do you train?
So I train in a lot of places. In Australia, I train at Mount Hoffman, and then we also train in New Zealand sometimes, and then overseas mostly I'm based out of Austria for training in Austria, and then we still go to races in France and Switzerland, Italy, and then we also sometimes have training camps in America.
Good question. You guys have asked so many.
Yeah, so that's for skiing, and then I forgot I also train at the Australian Institute of Sport in Canberra, so that's sort of my training base for doing all my gym and strength training when I'm not on snow.
Alrighty, have we got any more questions? Oh, yep. Keep going. This is awesome, guys.
How many times have you raced?
Oh, that's a good question. So normally in a season, I would compete in about 40 to 50 races, averaging 50 races a year. So I think I've competed in at least 500 races in my life so far.
Whoa. Alrighty, do you guys want to think of one more question for Greta, and then we'll let her go back to training and getting ready for the Olympics? Sure, someone's got one last question that they want to ask. If not, how about I ask a question? So Greta, what would you say your goals are for the 2018 PyeongChang Olympics?
For PyeongChang 2018, my goal is definitely to ski as fast as I can. Every time you get in the start gate, it's just about performing your best and the best you can do on the day. So we're just looking to ski as fast as possible.
Awesome. Guys, can we have a round of applause for Greta for answering you? You guys were absolutely fantastic. There were some awesome questions in there, and you just kept coming up with more questions. But we are going to chat to Greta again in a couple of months' time and see how her training is going and see if she's done any races. That'll be in November. And then we're going to also try and talk to her when she's at the Olympic Games. So we've got a couple of months to think of some more questions for her. But thank you very much for your questions today, Greta.
Thanks so much, Great Western School. You guys were so patient and awesome to talk to. Have a great day. and I hope you guys got something out of this, and I'll talk to you in a few months' time. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.